This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2, Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, March 30th. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon. Let's jump right in today, guys. Let's jump right in. CBS is shutting down rumors that Sharon Osbourne received a payout of up to $10 million for leaving the talk. So last week, the network said that Sharon had decided to leave the show. This comes after she defended her friend Piers Morgan over comments he made about Meghan Markle. That led to a heated exchange with her co-host Sheryl Underwood about race. So Sharon later told Entertainment Tonight that she was set up by CBS executives and was blindsided on air when she saw that all the other co-hosts had been given questions directed at her. The ironic thing here, I want you guys to jump right in though, that is CBS's network, Entertainment Tonight. So if she's upset at producers and then she went on another CBS show and complained about the network, ironic to me. Anyways, go for it.
I like that.
No, that's ironic to other people?
That's your resident Brit view. You want me to take this one?
Yeah.
Because I just feel, why do people, when they get called out, or not even so much canceled, because Sharon Osbourne is not going to be canceled. Why do they play the victim card? Oh, they ganged up on me. Oh, they told me I should have done. I wasn't ready for the questions. They made me. Before we come up here and we do an interview with Stephanie, which you do so lovely, you get your cards, you get prepped, and you know what questions you were supposed to ask. If you don't want to ask them, then you have that conversation with the producer. So now everyone wants to try and say, oh, everyone's against me. But what about what you said about Holly Robinson Peete, Sarah Gilbert, Julie Chen? Are we taking any accountability for that? Absolutely not. I said it before, I'll say it again. Once your production no longer outweighs your problem, you're gone.
Well, you mentioned Holly.
And that was all alleged, by the way.
Yeah, that was all alleged. But Holly went on Twitter and she said that, you know, there were comments made that Sharon said she was too ghetto for the show.
I love the quotes. I love the air quotes.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I know.
And then I was trying to be very accurate. And then a short time later, she was no longer on the show. So, I mean, sometimes obviously there is a character or a face that is more prevalent and has more followers. Or, you know, and so I think maybe she did have that power. And so she posted that, saying her experience, and then she actually received a letter from Sharon's lawyers saying if she didn't remove the tweet, she was going to be sued by Sharon, which doesn't look great given all of these other circumstances. And CBS actually released a quote, which I found, and basically they're denying that they've given her $10 million, but what they have said is Sharon Osbourne has decided to leave the talk. The events of the March 10th broadcast were upsetting to everyone involved, including the audience watching at home. As part of our review, we've concluded that Sharon's behavior towards her co-host during the episode do not align with our values or a respectful workplace. They found no evidence that the executives orchestrated the discussion or blindsided any of the hosts. So after an investigation, they're saying that everyone knew what was going on and that was her choice, is basically what they're saying. So I don't know what leg she has to stand on here.
Well, I mean, even if I said something crazy over the weekend, right, and they made national news, which this did, this was everywhere.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you guys, shouldn't I expect some questions on Monday morning from you guys sitting at this table? Like, Jeff, what happened over the weekend? Give us your side of the story.
That's what I don't understand. She's been doing this also for... So how is that
a blind... That's what I don't understand, the blind side part. This is what I don't understand.
She's been doing this for 11 years. She's very well versed in the talk shows, in reality TV, and she's used to having a voice and having to answer for it. Yep. So I don't understand how she can say she was so blindsided, because at the end of the day, if someone asks your opinion or talks to you about something... I mean, I presume it's just she didn't have time to curate a better response, one that obviously was not great.
Part of the reports is she's going to be able to speak out on this. She's not going to have to sign any NDA and not speak on this. So you know she's going to tell her side. We're going to be talking about it again. So I'm just going to wait to hear if there's any accountability to it.
Well, the talk is still very much on hiatus at the moment. And like I said, Sharon's been there for 11 years, and I'm sure she's going to have a lot to say about the ins, the outs, the secrets of the show, you know, all that kind of stuff. But we've already seen there was a book released a couple of years ago.
Well, right now I think the lawyers are going to have to fight this one out. All right, guys, we talked about this story yesterday. Brandon, this one's for you. Nike is suing over those Lil Nas X Satan shoes. As we showed you, the rapper teamed up with a streetwear company to release the shoes, which sold out in under a minute yesterday. They are customized Nike Air Max 97s that featured a pentagram and contain real human blood inside the soles. Nike is suing the company for trademark infringement, saying it has the right right to control what products bear the distinctive swoosh logo. You see it right there. Lil Nas X was not named in the lawsuit, though, which I was surprised. But you said this very same thing yesterday, Brandon.
I mean, you kind of had to. And I was just speaking off of just distancing yourself morally. You know, getting away from that. But this is now a trademark thing. This is now business, or like I like to call it, business. Business is business. But, you know, to go back, Jeff, you know, because his last name, Lil Nas X's last name is Montero. And after going back and reading, you're seeing that he was writing this letter to his 14-year-old self who promised to keep that secret, just take it to the death. I'm beyond sorry this young man had to go through that. As a brother to a lesbian sister who has cried to me, and even now today, you see the microaggressions, you see the things that are said, and the little laughs that people have. I'm sorry he had to go through that, but I think you went the wrong way with it. And if you're a company, especially like a Nike, who stood behind Colin Kaepernick, who stood behind the women's U.S. national team on those type of issues, I don't think they're going to stand behind anything demonic like that.
No, and me and my wife were having this conversation yesterday. A lot of times we do stories on the show, and my wife is like, "What happened with this?" How about watching the show once in a while? But she was saying everyone's boycotting. This is what's going around social media, right? Boycott Nike. That was the hashtag. And I was telling her, Nike has nothing to do with this.
No.
These are Air Max 97s, 1997 shoes, right? These were sold a long time ago. Whoever the company was, it's all the MHCH, whatever, I don't know the exact wording, but they're the ones who did this. The logos that you're seeing on there now, they put all this. They put the blood in the shoe. They made those boxes. So Nike has nothing to do with this. So immediately social media goes crazy and they're like, boycott Nike. So Nike had to step up and say, this isn't what us. We're going to have to sue you now.
Absolutely. And also I agree with what you said, Brandon. If I was Nike and I saw that, you know, there was someone who, let's be honest, Lil Nas X is incredibly famous. One, he's got a lot of followers, and he's using their brand unlawfully, unlegally, to sell satanic imagery, saying there's a human blood in the shoe. I mean, of course they're really going to be upset about that. Now, I believe that you should be able to customize items, whether it's Nike, Adidas, whatever it is. There's an artist in England called Nat Bowen, and she does the most amazing customization of Nike trainers with like really cool, like glow-in-the-dark paints and art, and she's an amazing artist. Check her out, love her work. But that's really beautiful and nice, and it's not disrespectful in any way. She's not tarnishing the name. She's not including any weird imagery that's going to be extremely offensive to the majority of the population, right? So I think there's a line, isn't there? I think you should be allowed to customize them.
I got a lot of blowback because people were like, hey, it's freedom of speech when it comes to to religion. People are saying that Satanism is a religion. So they're saying, would you speak out against Nike if they put a cross on the shoe? You know, like we can go back into the whataboutisms all day, you know? But
but I don't know. I'm with you on this one, Brandon. Listen, I'm just old school, and satanic things, I said it yesterday on the show, I'm not down with, right? I get the symbolism of what he's doing, being in hell because he said he was going to go to hell because he was gay. I get the symbolism, and you know what? It's clever, and I don't knock clever. But in my own life, I don't like satanic things. I don't like the devil. I don't like all that stuff, right? So, what'd you say, Rash? And he did it during Holy Week on top of it.
Oh,
how dare he?
How dare he?
You know, I'm sorry, I know we have to go on, but you know what that is to me, Jeff? Let's be honest. Old Town Road was a hit. Lyrically, was it something great? Was it like a great masterpiece? No, it was catchy. It was marketable. Could he have done this because you're chasing that success? You know, a lot of the one-hit wonders, I think he's gonna, success.
I think he's going to lose a lot of fans
audience
because of this. Unfortunately, they just don't get it, and they take their faith very seriously. I get the counterpoints that everyone is making online, but to each their own, I guess. All right, guys, coming up on DBL, former reality TV star and businessman Bill Rancic. We're chatting about his new mission to help patients beat cancer after his wife Juliana's brave battle. And Oscar preparations are underway to make the show go off without a hitch. We'll tell you what they're planning. Coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
We want
to take you on an inside look at the courtroom where the trial will take place. Because of COVID concerns, there are limits to many things you would normally see. Starting off, everyone will be required to wear a mask. Only one print reporter and one TV reporter are allowed in each day. So all media will share a stream of 3 cameras set up in the courtroom. One will show the podium where both the prosecution and defense attorneys will argue their sides. The next will show the tables where Derek Chauvin will be sitting with his team, the others 4 state attorneys. The third camera will show the judge and any witnesses being examined. Here's something that has not changed. No one from the jury can be shown at any point, but they will be present in socially distanced seats. Others in the courtroom will be a judge's clerk and a court reporter who will transcribe the proceedings. Also new during this trial, no family members can be shown in the gallery. That's the area that is normally full of spectators. Only one member of the Chauvin family is allowed each day, as well as only one member from George Floyd's family. So you won't see a normally packed courtroom for a high-profile trial, just a few key people.
Welcome back to DBL. The decision to have an all-in-person Oscars ceremony is proving to be difficult for some out-of-town nominees. The Oscars are not allowing any guests to attend over Zoom. Now the Academy is saying all international nominees will need to quarantine for 10 days and receive 3 COVID tests before being allowed to attend. Guests in the U.S. will also have to quarantine for 5 days and be tested twice. Are celebrities going to go for this?
Yes, and this is realistic. Remember this past football season when I was working remotely for the show from home in New Jersey with the New York Giants, I would get tested 3 times a week to get into the facility. If I left the state, came back into New Jersey, I would be tested and have to be quarantined before I'm allowed back into the facility. So if it's important to you, which being at that Oscar ceremony is to a lot of people, then yes, you are going to do what needs to be done to not only keep the show going, but to live that dream. It's an honor to be there.
No, I agree. I agree, Brennan. I think, right now, not everyone's been vaccinated. Whilst we're waiting for the world to return to normal, we need to respect that and, take all the appropriate measures. I think it's going to be hard work for the international people. I mean, that's a long time, isn't it? It's a long time.
But at least they're allowed in the country.
Well, that's a miracle in itself, let me tell you. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I'm glad it's all going to be in person. I think that's going to be how amazing one day when we get to do that. Do you not think?
I'm interested to see who no-shows.
I think people won't show up. I think a lot of people want to know in advance, am I going to win this award?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot to go to and travel internationally and stay for 10 days if it's just a case of, sorry, you didn't get it.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense.
I'd want to know,
And who foots that bill?
Good question. All right, let's get this next story. And Sharon Stone revealed a plastic surgeon gave her bigger breast implants without consent. Never mind. Made a hand gesture. I don't know why I did that, but I didn't. In her new tell-all memoir, the actress said she underwent the knife back in 2001 to remove gigantic benign tumors in her breasts. When she woke up, the surgeon made her a full cup size larger. When Sharon questioned the surgeon, he said he thought she would look better with, quote, bigger boobs.
I would have sued him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. absolutely sued him, and I'd expect him as well to foot the bill for any surgery that's required to have the breast the same size or whatever she wanted. You can't just take the liberties on someone else's body when they're unconscious. I mean, I think it's horrific. It's terrible.
And then you gotta go back under the knife.
And which puts your life at risk. Which puts your life at risk.
Yes.
You know, it's very serious. Operations are serious.
What's that one Beverly Hills doctor, the plastic surgeon that has his own TV show on E?
I want to be perfect.
I'm so hooked on that show.
Nassif and Paul.
And Bert Dubrow is our executive producer. He's Dubrow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Terry Dubrow.
That's Terry, not Paul. Terry,
he would never do that. I can tell you that. And this has always been some sort of like fear for me, because I kind of want veneers. A little bit, you know?
Yeah, but you'd be awake. You'd be fully awake.
Oh, really? You're awake when you get those? But I don't want to come out looking like Tony Robbins, you know, like the big ones, you know? I just want something more proportionate to
Tony Robbins?
Oh, my God.
He's got the big veneers.
You get away with like a Gary Busey.
Oh, yeah, he's got huge veneers.
But that's the thing. My wife is like looking into veneers now, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just think those, you know, I think veneers can look beautiful, but once you've ground down your natural teeth, they're your natural teeth. You'll never get them back.
What if a surgeon... What if you had the same thing done, but everyone complimented you after the surgery?
Well, then I think it would...
How would you feel?
I mean, well, it doesn't matter if other people think something looks good. It depends how you feel in your body.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Someone can say, you look amazing, but, you know, at the end of the day, you're the one that's got to live with that. You're the one that's got to get changed every day and shower every day and live in that body that will feel like... It will feel like it's no longer yours, that someone has had access to you and, you know, that you did not consent to. I would sue the living life out of this guy.
Yeah.
And how dare he? And I understand he removed tumours, very important, but I'm sure they had that discussion beforehand. She may want to have reduced her breast size. She may wanted to have had a cup size put in that was exactly the same as what she had, if possible. And now he's taken the liberty of changing her body like he thinks she's a bloody Barbie doll. Well, she's not. She's a human being.
All right. Wash your hands with that. Coming up on DBL, one-on-one with Bill Rancic, from life with Juliana to what he's learned since winning The Apprentice nearly 20 years ago. Wow, you don't want to miss it.
DBL.
I'll just be really 100. We always pull the curtain back on this show.
The most diverse team of voices in daytime.
You know I love you, and I feel that.
We're known for our authentic take.
I'm thrilled about it.
I can't.
You aren't shocked.
Have you guys all gone insane?
And no holds barred approach
And that's the problem that we're talking about.
Get real.
on what everybody is talking about.
You just gave me chills. Thank you for that. I feel like you just spoke for every single viewer that is watching right now.
Welcome back to DBL. Bill Rancic is the first reality show contestant to hear the words, "You're hired," from Donald Trump. Very clever. Now he's his own boss, advocating for cancer care. Earlier, he opened up about his wife Juliana's battle with the disease in today's Chatting with the Stars. Bill Rancic, welcome to Daily Blast Live. As the first winner of The Apprentice, you were part of reality TV history. What did you learn from your former boss and president, and when was the last time you spoke with him?
Well, you know, it was funny. When I did The Apprentice, you know, reality TV was in its infancy. You know, lo and behold, it was one of the most highly rated shows of that year. So for me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it helped me go on to do other great things. You know, through that experience, I met my wife, Juliana, as well.
What was it like, you know, getting interviewed by Juliana after you were winning The Apprentice, and then somehow you started talking about kids, marriage, your zodiac sign? You asked her out on a date. Was that love at first sight right there, Bill?
What do you look for in a girl?
I mean, I want someone who's fun and, you know, exciting, and you know, someone you can share your life with, someone who's, you know, into adventure.
You know, she was interviewing me, ironically enough. I was out promoting one of the, I think it was season 3, because I became a judge on the show. And, you know, I knew that she was a runner. And after the interview, I worked up enough courage to ask her if she wanted to go for a run sometime. And she kind of looked at me funny, and she paused, and she said, "How about dinner instead?" And that was it. It was love at first sight. We were engaged like 10 or 11 months later, and we've been together over 15 years now, and we have an 8-year-old son named Duke.
Back in 2011, Juliana was diagnosed with cancer, but now she's back on that same red carpet, Bill.
I mean, come on.
What's the latest on Juliana's cancer recovery right now?
Well, she's been cancer-free, thank God, and you know, certainly she has used this negative and turned it into a positive. And through showcasing her cancer journey on the Juliana and Bill show, we were able to, you know, really inspire a lot of people to go out and get mammograms or give self-exams, whatever the case may be.
Bill, what was it like for you? Because everyone always asks about Juliana. What was it like for you caring for a spouse with cancer? Were you scared at any point?
You know, when you're a caregiver, it's funny, you wear a lot of different hats. But I think the most important role I played was helping Juliana make decisions based on knowledge rather than decisions based on emotion.
That's great advice, Bill. Now, you're currently promoting the C3 Prize. People from all over the world submitted their best ideas about improving cancer care. What else can you tell us about this challenge, Bill?
Well, it's the C3 Prize, and we've been doing it for 5 years now, and it stands for Changing Cancer Care. And our mission is really to improve the life of those people who are impacted by cancer beyond the medicine component.
We want to recognize all of the innovators who submitted their ideas to change cancer care this year.
I needed to join this movement because Juliana and I started this 10 years ago, and I wanted to keep moving it forward.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. You answered so many great questions, but I got to be honest, Bill, you didn't answer the one about when the last time you talked to the president was.
Oh, you know what? He's been pretty busy, and you know, I've been letting him do his job, and I've been focusing on and helping people with the cancer. So anyone who wants to join this movement, they can go to c3prize.com and join the movement.
Bill, you're a genius with the answers. I was only teasing you, man. You're doing something way better. So, Bill Rancic, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast.
I know you
Live.
were. I know.
Totally teasing with you, man. Totally teasing with you. Listen, give our best to Juliana and the rest of the family, and continue, guys.
Great job out there, too.
Thank you so much, man. Hopefully, you know, when the COVID settles down, we can get you guys in studio one day if you're ever in Denver.
Well, count us in. We love Denver. That's where our son was born.
Bill, thank you so much, man. We'll be right back, everybody.
Okay.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Talking about Ever Given, a 1,300 12-foot-long container ship that's nearly as long as the Empire State Building is tall. The 220-ton ship was grounded at the Suez Canal for 6 days. So why are we talking about this? Well, there are claims that indicate the blockage caused the global economy to lose $400 million an hour. Yeah, so let's verify. Could the grounding of Ever Given have caused the economy to lose $400 million an hour? Our sources: Paul Hong, Distinguished University Professor of Global Supply Chain Management and Asian Studies at the University of Toledo, and Lisa Anderson, founder and president of LMA Consulting Group, a supply chain consulting company.
The supply chain was already out of alignment. So now that we have the Suez Canal, it pretty much means that it's gotten even more out of alignment.
First, let's talk about how much trade goes through the Suez Canal daily.
There's about $10 billion worth of trade that actually flow through daily.
And Anderson agrees. A little quick math actually gets us to $416 million an hour of total global trade halted during the grounding of Ever Given. So we can verify that this claim is true, but actually underestimates the amount of total global trade lost per hour. So what about these claims that toilet paper and coffee will be in short supply because of Ever Given? Well, according to both Anderson and Hong, that's false.
People think the toilet papers are coming from China mainly, but I think toilet paper is primarily from Canada and Mexico, so toilet paper would not be that affected.
Anderson agrees that toilet paper won't be impacted like it was during the beginning of the pandemic.
Toilet paper was more of a panic buy, so people aren't going to necessarily do a panic buy over the missing materials.
According to Hong, 10% of the total coffee trade comes through the Suez Canal, so he says that industry could be slightly impacted.
The impact of a coffee is really there, but it may not be huge.
Over the last few months, Anderson says manufacturing and shipping costs have increased across multiple industries, so any increase in coffee price will likely have more to do with those than the grounding of Ever Given at the Suez Canal.
They've been absorbing some of it, but they're also starting to pass them on to consumers. And I think that for sure it is likely to lead to some inflation over time for sure.
So we can verify, yes, the claim about the grounding of Ever Given costing the global economy approximately $400 million an hour is true. But there's no need to worry that toilet paper will be out of stock, and unless your favorite coffee comes from Vietnam or Indonesia, you're in the clear as well. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. Did you know a well-maintained yard actually helps protect against common homeowners insurance claims? Huh?
No,
you didn't. We're chatting about it in today's Bang for Your Buck, presented by The Hartford. First, clean out your gutters. That prevents blockage, of course. That could send water into your home. Second, mow your lawn on a regular basis. It can lower wildfire risks. And finally, the plants within 5 feet of your house should be fleshy and moist, which are less likely to catch fire. Makes sense. When it comes to quality, affordable home insurance, the Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you with solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more.
Gotta clean those gutters.
Gotta clean.
Oh, that was a nightmare when I had a house.
And keep those bushes moist and clean. We'll see you guys tomorrow.